Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the new object that's been discovered in the sky. They say it's the 12th planet, and its name currently is 2023 KQ14, but its nickname is now Ammonite. And this is a very interesting thing because rarely do we have like a new planet that is in pretty much our solar system, but it is way out there. I'll tell you the little bit that I know, and I think there's a lot more to come about this, but it's newly been just discovered May 16th of 2023, but I don't think that they announced it till July. But before I go into this, I want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org and you will get all of my emails with predictions weekly. So while you're there at galacticcenter.org, please pay attention to all the opportunities I offer. One is my Patreon group. It is a spiritual community. We meet weekly live. You will love it. Become part of our spiritual community. Also, don't forget my Galactic Planner. We have implemented so many new changes. It is like new. You're going to have to try it out now. It is the best astrological program out there that will take your chart, give you your predictions daily. Go to galacticplanner.com, and remember, if you want to study with me, become my student, go to universityofvedicastrology.com. All right, so talking about Ammonite. So Ammonite is the new thing out there, and what we surmise is whenever there's been a new planet that's been discovered, it always brings a new awareness into the world, such as Uranus brought the Industrial Revolution, such as Neptune brought photography and movies into our world, and Pluto, atomic energy. Now, another one that you may not know about is when Chiron was discovered was 1977. And what came about from Chiron was actually chiropractic. And not only did it bring that into being, but Chiron as the wounded healer, the whole myth goes back to the way Chiron suffered so much, and he was an eternal God, immortal God, I mean. And so what happened was he was in so much pain after being struck by an arrow that he had given Hercules the formula for, and he couldn't die, so he had to give up his immortality. And he did by dying, and he gave his power to Prometheus, who had given humankind fire. But what happened was they chained Prometheus to a mountaintop, and his liver was eaten by a vulture by day and grew back by night. And they said the only way you could be relieved of this torture is if a god gave up his immortality, which Chiron did. But the whole meaning in 1977 was this. The Betty Ford Center came about then. That was the first real treatment for alcoholism. And what did the symbology and the myth represent? But alcoholism with the liver being eaten out. So my point is Chiron was discovered that same year. And its whole symbology around alcoholism and disease was what it was here to cure or to help, to heal, to better heal. So now we have a new planet. What is this going to bring into our realm? Well, since it was discovered May 16th of 2023, this is like the advent, I think, of AI. Where is this going? This is the beginning. That's what this represents. And so I just want to say this too. Most of my information I have gotten from Vedic astrologer Juliana Swanson, and she did a brilliant article on this. So she is a dear friend, and I wanted to give her credit for the information that she did the research for. So this nickname that they gave this new object, Ammonite, it is actually, they named it this because they said it was a fossil-like object, but actually the scientists that discovered it were in Hawaii, and it was the Fossil Survey Project scientist. And this fossil-like object is part of a small group of planet-like objects called sednoids. So these sednoids, this is where this is a part of. And they said that the scientists described this object as an ancient relic of our solar system. So they named it after the marine animals known as ammonites, which became extinct. They're about 65 million years ago, but this is where the nickname came from. But here is what's so interesting and important, I think, about this object, is the fact that when it was discovered, it was transiting at the top of the constellation Serpens. And this constellation is one of 88 modern constellations of the Northern Hemisphere. But this is a very interesting, rare constellation because it is the only constellation that is split by another constellation called Ophiuchus. And Ophiuchus is associated with the Greek god Asclepius. And Asclepius was the Greek god. He was a physician, he was a healer, and he was said to be able to resurrect the dead. That's how good he was. But they also say that Ptolemy said that this particular constellation, Ophiuchus, is associated with healing and Asclepius. And he was the ultimate healer. So take this into account. But the fact that it was discovered not exactly in that constellation, but it's going through there. It was discovered at the head of Serpens. And Serpens, of course, is the serpent. And what this particular constellation is said to deal with is like an energy of Mars and Saturn. And what it deals with is wisdom, but deceit and danger of poison. And so this is the energy of the serpent. When you think about, being bit by the serpent, you're poisoned. And I just want to say that this is such early stages of all of this, but what I surmise from everything that I've read and brought together, and Juliana did actually a very good job by pulling up the chart of the day that it was discovered. But what's very interesting was that in the chart that she had, the moon was conjunct Chiron, which Chiron is the wounded healer. So what we're getting is these connotations that are always pointing us back to healing. And here is where I'm going with this. My personal take on it is that with AI, we are going to advance levels of healing that we never had before. I think we're going to start extending life And we're going to discover some new healing modalities that are way beyond what we have today. Way, way, way beyond. And personally, I want to add this because I've been telling this to a lot of my clients and students. I believe the way of healing, the direction it's going to go in the future, deals with vibration and frequency, and changing the frequency and vibration in the cells, in the body, in the mind. And as we do this, we heal diseases we never could before. But most of all, I think we're going to be healing diseases such as mental disease, all sorts of mental disease, whether it's Alzheimer's, whether it is addictions, whether it is all of the different mind-influenced diseases that we don't even have names for yet, diagnosis, such as bipolar, but things that affect the brain. This is where we're going to go. Because remember, I believe if we could heal the issues with the brain, we could heal a society, heal a world, because so many people have issues here. And I don't just mean everyone, I mean families. Families that have been affected by addictions, things of that nature. Think about the progress in the healing, where this is going to go. And I think that this new planet, whatever you want to call it, is going to bring this in through the futuristic discoveries. And AI is so prevalent right now while this has been discovered. So these are the clues that lead me to what I believe. I do know that there is going to be futuristic changes in how we treat people, health-wise, vibrational, healing frequencies. This is going to change the situation and disease totally. This is in the future. But I think this is the beginning. I think this planet could be indicative of this because we're looking at, number one, the serpent energy, which, remember, the serpent is the symbol for the medical staff for healing and doctors. This is the constellation. And not only that, going into the Greek Ophiuchus and Asclepius, all of this represents healing. Even talking about like Chiron being conjunct the moon when it was discovered. And Chiron is a planet that deals with healing as well. This is all telling me that the future of healing is changing. Medicine, longevity, everything about health is changing. And this is an indication of it. And AI is definitely a part of it. Even though AI can represent a lot of negative things that people are talking about in the future, the positive that will come out of it will be health and healing. So I just wanted to put that little tidbit out there. I know it's just the beginning and we really don't have that much information yet to come, because let me say this. Hindsight is 20/20. When Uranus was discovered, they didn't realize what it was really about, nor Neptune or Pluto, till later. And then looking back, later we realize what it's all about, what it's representing, what it means for our future. So I hope you enjoyed my little dissertation and on the new 2023 KQ14 nickname Ammonite. So with that, if you want to learn more about me, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Thank you.